welcome to TUTV. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Joe McCurdy. It was supposed to snow this morning.
I know. I'm very upset about it, Joe.
And, I went to bed thinking, I could wake up to an email from Professor Rollins saying, hey, we're not going to have class today.
Oh, I could have woken up and had an email from my coach saying, oh, you can go back to bed. But no, neither of those things happened, did they? It's just been raining and a bit miserable.
Well, I hear that some people got classes canceled.
Actually, to be fair, my class this evening has been cancelled. I don't know why I'm complaining, but...
See, I had one class today, and it didn't get canceled, and that's what is kind of upsetting, is like, why can't it snow and have the chance of getting canceled on the class day that I have 4 classes?
Yes, that always happens to me too, because tomorrow I have 1 class, so hate that.
Well, there's always next time, right?
There is.
Fingers crossed. It is Tulsa, so who knows what happens.
All right, we have to get on with the rest of the show, so enjoy, guys.
Right. We'll be back.
Hi, welcome back to TUTV. I'm Sarah Moore.
And I'm David Stump. We have some important stories for you this week, so let's jump right in. A gunman killed 10 people at a ballroom dance studio amid Lunar New Year celebrations and then probably tried, but failed, to target a second dance hall, authorities said Sunday. Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna said the shooting at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio in Monterey Park left 5 women and 5 men dead and wounded another 10 people. Then 20 to 30 minutes later, a man with a gun entered the Lai Lai Ballroom in nearby Alhambra. Authorities believe the 2 events are connected, and they offered no details about a possible motive.
President Biden will name Jeff Zients to serve as his next chief of staff, according to an article published on the Washington Post this past Sunday. Zients left the White House in April after steering the administration's pandemic response and leading the largest vaccination campaign in U.S. history. Former Senator of Delaware, Ted Kaufman, said in an interview that, quote, he's incredibly well qualified for the job, and he is someone the president has seen in action, end quote. Zients, 56, was born in Washington and attended St. Albans School before graduating from Duke University. A successful management consultant, he ran the advisory board company alongside David Bradley before taking it public and netting tens of millions of dollars.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz was in Paris for talks with French President Emmanuel Macron on Sunday as the 2 leaders seek to overcome differences laid bare by the Ukraine war. The German leader visited the French capital for a day of ceremonies marking 60 years since the landmark treaty sealed a bond between the longtime enemies that underpins today's European Union. At the ceremony at the Sorbonne, Scholz said, quote, let us use our inseparable friendship to shape the present and future of our continent, together with our European partners, end quote. Macron added, quote, our unfailing support for the Ukrainian people will continue in every field.
Thousands of protesters gathered across the United States to protest the end of the federal right to abortion, marching on the 50th anniversary of the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision that made abortion a constitutional right in 1973, but which was struck down last year. Rachel Carmona, the executive director of the Women's March organization, shared in an interview with The Guardian that, quote, 50 years after the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, a radical right-wing movement hijacked our courts and eliminated federal protections for abortions, end quote. Carmona then added, quote, but as the fight turns to the states, they're going to learn that the overwhelming majority of Americans in all states support abortion rights, and women will fight to protect our rights and our lives, end quote.
A recent iPhone 15 leak claims Apple is planning several eye-opening design changes. Now prominent leaker Shrimp Apple Pro has revealed more details, saying the changes mean that, quote, iPhone 15 now looks more Android than ever, end quote. In a series of tweets, the anonymous leaker claims that all iPhone 15 models will have curved edges with a dynamic island. The edges are said to create the same effect as on the Apple Watch, where Apple uses subtle curves to make the display look like it is spilling over the sides of the watch. Although the leak has received some pushback, an editor at Forbes stated in an article that Shrimp Apple Pro has a strong track record and was the first leaker to reveal the new pill-shaped cut out in iPhone 14 Pro models, which ultimately housed the dynamic island.
Okay, so I have very strong opinions on Apple products, and
Absolutely.
I hope they don't do this because I'm still working with a phone that has a home button because I can't let the past go.
Absolutely, and as like a former Android user, I'm like kind of interested to see how Apple users are going to react to this because I feel like when I had an Android, I got so much hate for having an Android.
Yeah, as you deserved.
Okay,
So-
Sarah.
It'll be interesting to see how Apple users react because of that, because it is like a traditionally Android feature. So
Absolutely.
I think there will be riots in the streets over this choice by Apple, and I know that I won't be buying one. So.
Alrighty. Well, that's all the time we have for y'all this week. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to TUTV. I'm Joe McCurdy, and I'm here with Josh Murray, the president of the TU Film Club. Now, Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm actually a first-year student here at TU. I come from Ada, Oklahoma, and I kind of happenstance fell my way into being president of Film Club, but here we are.
That's great. Well, of course, we're here to talk about Film Club, so tell us a little bit about Film Club.
So Film Club is a club that's kind of lost its identity and has failed to start, and it's really struggled to really get off the ground. So that's what I've been aiming to do these last semester and starting into this semester, really just finding first its identity, like what we want to do with Film Club, as well as just getting somewhere with it.
So you're obviously talking about, how to proceed with it. What would that include?
So currently our current format is we watch a short film during our meeting time. We discuss that short film, and then we also bring in off of other films we would watch any commentary we'd like to place on that, as well as we hold outside screenings away from our regular meeting time, just so we can have a chance to view full-length films.
Right. And of course, for the people that are interested, how do they join Film Club?
So there were flyers up around with our GroupMe, but you can always just show up to a meeting. They run most Wednesdays at noon in LPC 2060. Not this Wednesday, but most Wednesdays. And that's pretty much it.
Well, less about Film Club. Obviously, the Oscars, their nominations just came out today. Do you have any, quick little hot takes or snubs that you want to give us?
I mean, it's not really a hot take. It's just kind of what's going to happen. Everything Everywhere at All at Once is an obvious favorite for just about every award. I mean, I watched it. It was fantastic. I was surprised by Elvis getting a Best Picture nomination. It's a good movie. It's a little long for what it is, but I mean, it's good. I didn't think it was worthy of a Best Picture nomination personally.
Well, great, thank you. Any last minute plugs? Put yourself out there.
No.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to TUTV Sports. I'm David Stump.
And I'm Mike Walters. We have some exciting stories for you today, so let's hop right into it.
Tulsa has started the spring off-season with a bang in many areas, mainly tackling head coaching hires. Before the break, both women's volleyball head coach Ryan Wills and head football coach Philip Montgomery had been fired. As of today, both of those positions have been filled. Laura Rematowski was named the 8th head coach in Tulsa volleyball history. Previously, Rematowski worked as the assistant coach and recruiting coordinator at Kansas State. She was quoted as saying, "Tulsa has high expectations for success both on and off the court for their student athletes, and I am eager to bring that same vision to the volleyball program." Rematowski has already made an impact on the team's recruiting, getting an early off-season transfer in freshman outside hitter Beth Bayless from Oklahoma.
For football, Ohio State offensive coordinator Kevin Wilson has been hired as Tulsa's 34th head football coach. Wilson is no stranger when it comes to coaching, with 31 years of coaching experience, spending 6 years with Ohio State under Urban Meyer and Ryan Day, taking OSU to 3 college football playoff appearances, including the 2022 season. After the conclusion of the postseason, Coach Wilson didn't waste any time establishing his staff, making 9 hires ranging from offensive coordinator to special teams coaches. Recruiting has been a huge emphasis for Wilson, especially in the Tulsa area, with at least 5 transfers from Power 5 teams and multiple offers going out to local Tulsa talent. Tulsa isn't wasting any time in hitting the ground running in the 9-18.
Tulsa men's basketball has had a rough season, to say the least. In the first season under head coach Eric Conkle, the team is 5-13 overall and 1-6 in the conference, dead last in the American. Saturday night marked Tulsa's first conference win after beating the Tulane Green Wave at the Reynolds Center. Before this win, Tulsa had lost 7 straight games, with the last 3 coming at a combined 11-point loss margin. With the game starting with the Tulsa faithful breaking the Guinness World Record for the world's largest pizza party, there was a good crowd to watch the second straight overtime game for Tulsa. Winning the game 81-79, Tulsa gets a much-needed win for a team that has been on the edge of breaking through and getting in the win column.
Tulsa's women's basketball has had a white-hot season so far with a record of 15-4, sitting at number 2 in the Athletic American Conference, second only to USF. Before Saturday, Tulsa was undefeated in conference play, but with a 5-point loss on the road against Tulane, Tulsa now sits at 5-1 in conference. With a chance to play spoiler this coming Wednesday, Tulsa will play the only remaining undefeated in-conference team in USF at home. Tulsa is yet to lose at home, and with their consistent success, it is expected to be a highly competitive matchup.
Tulsa tennis spring season is underway, with both the men's and women's teams playing this past week. For the men's squads, Tulsa opened the season with a 7-0 sweep over the Bryant Bulldogs, with Connor DeMarco and Cody Pearson leading the way for the men's, dominating in both their singles and doubles matches. For the women's teams, it's almost a shot-for-shot copy of the men's performance in their home opener, with a similar 7-0 victory, but this time over Omaha. Awesome. So as a football player, how have you been interacting with the new coaches, and what do you think of them?
Oh, he's awesome, yeah. He definitely knows what he's talking about, and I like that. And then, our first day, hardest warm-up I've ever done.
Oh, my God.
I was dying, out of breath. Please, someone give me an inhaler. And it was just horrible, miserable. But yeah.
Yeah. So you think he's going to be a great thing for Tulsa's football team?
I think he's going to be an excellent thing for our team.
Awesome. Exciting things to look forward to. That's all the time we have time for this week. We'll see you next time.
Hi, welcome to TUTV. I'm Caden Ketcher.
And I'm Sarah Moore. We've got some exciting stories for you guys this week, so let's jump right into it.
Anchor and producer Alec Baldwin and armor Hannah Gutierrez-Reed face involuntary manslaughter charges after the accidental killing of cinematographer Hala Hutchinson's on the set of Rust. Baldwin maintains that Gutierrez-Reed declared the safety of the firearm and that the gun misfired without him pulling the trigger. The film worker union, SAG-AFTRA, released a statement on January 19, 2023, claiming that, quote, the death of Hannah Hutchins is a tragedy, and all the more so because of its preventable nature. It is not a failure of duty or a criminal act on the part of any performer, end quote. This case sparks discussion about the firearm safety in the film industry and the placement of accountability in the case of these accidents.
Lisa Marie Presley passed away at 54 on January 12th after being hospitalized for a medical emergency. Her memorial service was held on Sunday at Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. Presley was the only daughter of Elvis Presley and had attended the Golden Globes shortly before her death with actor Austin Butler, who played her father in the 2022 film Elvis. The memorial at Graceland incorporated many of Presley's close friends who paid tribute to her life and career. Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose performed November Rain, and Sarah, Duchess of York, spoke at the ceremony saying, quote, I stand here with great honor, so Sissy, this is for you with affection. My late mother-in-law, Queen Elizabeth II, said that nothing can begin to take away the anguish and pain of these moments because grief is the price we pay for love, and how right she was, end quote.
Tulsa artist Lauren Lay was a PTA mom until her art career took off after a school auction. Lay helped her kids produce a portrait of Abraham Lincoln in her screen print style that is actually hand-painted, and before long, many of the fellow moms and the students were asking for paintings of their own. Lay has created several portraits of artists such as Dolly Parton, Kurt Cobain, Tupac, Jay-Z, and many more. Lay stated in an interview with the Tulsa World that pursuing art was long overdue and that she was not able to take art classes because she was in the school band and couldn't take an extra elective. You can find more of Lauren Lay's work on her Instagram account at Lauren Lay Studios or on our website, www.laurenlaystudios.com.
In 2019, the Cherokee Nation Film Office became the first Native Film Commission in America. The CNFO is internationally recognized for its authentic representation of Indigenous people and for giving Natives more opportunities to share their stories. These developments are helping to shape the future of the growing Oklahoma film industry. This year, the Cherokee Nation Film Office will be premiering their film, Fancy Dance, at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival. The coming-of-age film follows the mysterious disappearance and eventual murder of an Indigenous woman, exploring the topic of the government's lack of acknowledgement of many Native disappearances. Fancy Dance was directed by Erica Tremblay and written by Tremblay and Mianka Elise and can be streamed online through the Sundance Film Festival website.
Following the success of the December holiday happy hours, Circle Cinema continues the celebration with January Jazz Happy Hours. These events take place each Thursday from 6 to 7:30 p.m., with the final happy hour of January happening on the 26th. The happy hours feature live music performed by Stephine Oliver and Clay Lynch, and an open gallery and a bar with specialty movie-themed cocktails. Details on February happy hours will be announced soon, and make sure to take advantage of the $2 movie ticket Tuesday deal exclusive for TU students. So yeah, it's kind of wild that I've seen a lot of movies come out of Oklahoma recently. Have you seen The Tulsa King?
No, I haven't, but I really need to watch it because, like, obviously, I mean, it's Sylvester Stallone, who's pretty iconic, so I need to watch it. And I'm really excited about Fancy Dance. I think that sounds really interesting, and I really love learning and hearing about Native stories just because, like, you know, Oklahoma is where I've lived my entire life, and so being able to hear stories from the original occupants is just really an honor, and I really enjoy it. So I think that's going to be super great. Any other Oklahoma-themed movies you enjoy?
Well, Reservoir Dogs.
Another I haven't seen and I need to watch.
No, yeah, my friend actually worked on it for a little bit.
Really? That's
yeah,
awesome.
They've been working a lot with the tribes and stuff, so I'm really glad that Oklahoma's reaching out and doing that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But yeah, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you.
See you next week.
The tunnels under TU. There are tunnels under TU.
Well, what's your hot take about your tunnels under TU?
Find them.
I'm gonna dig right there, right below our feet. When will you start?
During the game, when everybody's at the game, I'm gonna get a shovel. I'm gonna say, hey, I found all the tunnels.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be the tunnel keeper. And no one can get in the tunnels except for me.
Oh, that's great.
I peed into an air conditioning unit from the second floor balcony of an apartment. Greek life overrated, essay sucks.
Justin, I hear you are a pretty important man on campus. You want to talk about that?
No. Unclipped toenails.
I like long toenails personally. It's very nice.
What is your honest opinion about toes?
Yeah, I despise anyone that's into it.
I with toes.
Well, my toes are fine, but it's not like a thing.
But you said you didn't like. You said you didn't like toes.
Not.
SMU sucks. What's the quote of the day?
I want the plain white tees to play Hey There Delilah.
That's not a quote at all.
Oh, the favorite thing I did at Oktoberfest, it has to be the Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel was absolute blast. We went like, it just kept going, bro. It just kept going, bro. It just kept going, bro. It just kept going, bro.
Who am I here with today?
I'm Daniel Johnson.
We need more freedom on the frats.
Some of the parties are overrated, except for white tea.
Plain white tees, really?
If you were talking to Brad Carson right now, what would you want to say to him?
Great job building infrastructure. We feel a little bit like a state school today.
He's done great. I love him, honestly.
Can I meet your son?
Any final thoughts?
I could probably take a wolf.
Play Hey There Delilah.
All right.
It's just Hey There Delilah, like that's it. Like name one other.
But Hey There Delilah is
Joe McCurdy.
Joe McCurdy.
Joe McCurdy.
Gregory.
What are we snacking on?
Burger.
Burger? Okay. Where are the naked people? Why do you guys have your shirts off right now?
Oh, because we love Tulsa and we hate SMU.
All right, okay. What's your final score prediction of the game today?
I'm the L.
That was good. That was good. I can't. I'm not going to stroke my own ego here, but that was good.
That was very funny,
It
Joe.
was very comical. Made me giggle. So
Well, I guess this officially wraps up your first hosting gig ever.
I can finally breathe. That was great.
So for your first hosting gig, is there anything you would like to talk about?
Well, with my interview with Josh, I think, talk a little bit about the Oscars. I mean, I am myself, a big film guy. So it was really interesting to see what was nominated, what wasn't. Really pulling for everything, everywhere, all at once, as Josh said. But also, I was gonna name drop an actor, but I forgot his name.
But have you seen that Tom Hanks has actually been, what's one of those awards where it's like
the Razzies?
The Razzies.
The
He's
worst
been
performances
nominated for
of the
2
year.
for his performance in Elvis and Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, I believe.
So that's interesting.
Live action. So
yes,
that was a tough watch.
I mean, I didn't find that Elvis was.
I didn't watch it. I wanted to, and I never got to the theaters. So
I watched it on the plane.
See, that's what I do. But I've been on a TV skid recently. I'm halfway through Game of Thrones, which is really hard when you start it at the beginning of the school year.
I did that, and I watched it in
hope.
probably a month, maybe.
Okay.
And when I was in 18 hours, I don't know why I did it. And then as soon as I finished that, I went straight onto House of the Dragon. So I really was not helping myself there, was I? But
I mean, I got through the first 2 seasons in about 3 days. But granted, it was when I was at home and I had nothing to do except for sit on my couch. So, we love living in Syracuse, New York. I mean, I'm excited to see who wins, who takes home the little golden statue.
So am I. And hopefully Joe will be joining us hosting next week.
Fingers crossed. I want to be back. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks so much for watching, guys.
We'll see you next time.